Hello people, welcome back to the channel. It's Captain Trucker. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm back here in the provinces living in luxury, and I just wanted to say hi to you all. But in this video I want to discuss how American culture can heal itself, solve some of its problems within the culture, and why more Americans should choose to be expats. Quiet. To become expatriates, okay? Right now there's about, 400, 500,000 Americans in the Philippines, something like that. Maybe more. The studies vary. I think we'll see more in the future. I really believe that with more Americans becoming expats, we can have a better influence on our culture itself as Americans, okay? Now I want to say, this isn't like a political thing. It's not red or blue. These are like human issues. When we're talking about massive consumer debt, the destruction of the American family, and you know, how materialism and consumerism is devouring the life of the average American family, okay? Sorry, I stepped in something. The middle class, like, it's pretty serious, right? I mean, they say the average American household now has $90,000 in debt. Now, averages are thrown off by outliers in the equation, so we'll just assume the medium is still quite significant, okay? And not to mention that includes credit card debt, etc., etc. And, you know, like when I've talked on this channel about some of these issues, like some of the people I used to know in my circle, they get kind of defensive because they're like, oh, you're ripping on Americans, you're ripping on American culture. And like even one guy called me a traitor, and it's kind of ridiculous, you know? And it kind of shows you like the narrow-mindedness of some of our people. This isn't about criticizing America, man. This is about making us better as a culture, okay? Like if we, you know, travel more and get outside of our own boxes, and so to speak. And this is kind of the stuff we learn as expatriates, man. And, you know, there's just stuff to be learned from these ancient cultures, like in the Philippines. Like, you know, we were talking about Kapwa recently. Interconnectedness, you know, how we all affect one another, how we can survive together. These are great things that we can all learn, okay? I always had this wild idea, like if you know, college students or high school students were required to like study abroad in such countries, like if it was some kind of requirement, that would probably make the culture better too. But I mean, I don't know who would pay for that bill. That would probably cost a lot of money, but that's another story. But my whole point is that there's a lot to learn from becoming an expat, you know, and it's helped my life, and it's even helped me get ahead. I mean, I don't even have to work the whole year anymore, and I'm still ahead, you know? Like a lot of Americans are becoming slaves to their own debt. Like that's a real thing, man. I don't have any debt. You know, when I work, it's profit, basically, so that's good. You know, I built a house here with cash. So, you know, I just hope that there's no, like, I don't know, some volcano doesn't take it out one day or something like that. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I'm not in debt. I don't have to pay interest. So that's, you know, that's good. But I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because like a lot of people can do the same thing. It's just about choices. Like the dollar is still a relatively powerful currency in the world. So, you know, spend your money wisely, man. I even always said like Americans should try living in their cars. Like if the cars are such an important thing for the culture and the people in the middle class, I mean, you're investing so much money into it, why don't you just live in it? Like get rid of the apartment, sell the house, you know, go frugal, start getting outside of the box, take leave of absences from work, go overseas. It would probably help the culture, man. All right, I'm back, folks. So yeah, I want to see more expats involved in helping America. They should have more expats as congressmen involved in the community, stuff like that, okay? More of an influence, because traditionally expats have kind of been demonized a little bit as like outcasts and outsiders, exiles, just sex tourists, but those days are over, man, because that wasn't even always the case anyway. A lot of expats have a lot to offer, okay? A lot of expats are seeking culture, adventure, education. Some of them were missionaries, some of them were doing it for work. So we need the broad thinking and experience of expats to help America, okay? And a lot of these people that have been in countries like the Philippines, such as myself and others, can learn, okay? They can help, we can help our country, all right? And this is one of the reasons why I have decided to run for the governor of California. No, I'm just joking. Just joke. Anyways, but seriously, Yeah, guys. I mean, seriously, I'm kind of tired of some of the plights of the American middle class, right? I mean, what happened to all like the men, like men that were independent, like men that could take care of their own business, like men that didn't depend on the government and whine about politics all day, just men that worked and did what they had to do, right? I mean, you know, you're choosing a lifestyle. See, I got outside of that. Some call it the matrix, whatever, but I did. And like, as a result, at that time, like maybe a decade ago, like I was kind of an outcast in some of my social circles, you know, like there were acquaintances of mine and people in my group, friends, associates, who did kind of start to demonize me a little bit, like as part of like almost a black sheep in the group. And they kind of did make my life difficult. And some of these people since, you know, they've seen the channel, and some of them, well, because like I went broke all those years ago, right? And like a lot of these people were doing very well. So now that, you know, after all these years, it's kind of coincidental too, like some of them actually ended up kind of going brokish, not living in the best situations. Some of them are very bitter, not because of what they did to me specifically, but just because you can't gang up against people in life. You know what I mean? So as a result, anyway, I'm doing pretty well now financially, and they've seen my channel. And yeah, like some of them, see, before they used to call me like poor and like, oh, he just wants to move out of the country because he can't survive. See, now that I have money, now they're saying things like, oh, he's being treacherous to America. Like, this is not an anti-American channel, dude. Like, I'm promoting the idea of American values through independence and hard work and all that good stuff. We do compare cultures, like what we can learn as Americans from the Philippines and vice versa. Like, there's a lot to offer. It can go both ways. Like, everybody can win. Expats can assimilate, can contribute to the expat community here, and Filipinos can learn, you know, stuff like ambition and hard work and all that good stuff, you know, from Americans. Just as we can learn to be a little bit more frugal and resilient and, you know, less soft. Like, what's with all these like American men now who are so just materialistically bougie? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you sell your car and start walking to work, or, you know, ride your bicycle, right? Burn some calories, save $20,000 and, like, you know, get a life, right? Stop complaining about the government, about this group and that group, about gas prices or how immigrants are ruining your life. I mean, grow up, like, get over it, dude. Like, the middle class still has opportunities. That's the thing. They're getting sucked into the consumer culture. Like, America's a consumer-driven economy. Understandably, the middle class is ticked off because they do all the work, right? See, the lower class, they got the memo. In places like Skid Row in Los Angeles and stuff, and say, some of them get it, you know, because they look at the lifestyle of the middle class and like, well, to hell with that. I'm not going to do all that hard work. So they get government benefits, they live on the streets, and they have a party. You know, they get their food, they get their dope, they're good to go. Who knows? I mean, maybe one of those people burnt down, you know, Pacific Palisades and whatnot. I mean, you know, apparently a lot of the homeless accidentally light fires, so there is that. But anyway, yeah, man, you know, learning as an expat, learning to help your own country. I think expats are an invaluable future asset to the American culture, okay? And I think in the future we're gonna see more expats because the middle class, they're getting the memo. They're wisening up. They're seeing such videos. They're seeing other parts of the world, and they're realizing, you know, they're putting the math together saying like, oh, my dollar will go much further in the Philippines or Thailand or Hungary or Argentina. They're starting to get it, you know? So if we just make these little adjustments as a culture in terms of our materialism, I think we can go a lot farther. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of blown away by some of the entitlements of my fellow Americans, and like, you know, I don't want to get, it's not a political thing either. Yeah, and you know, I did vote for Trump myself just because I need somebody in office who can negotiate and make deals, someone who's independent. And I kind of value, as far as foreign relations, when you're dealing with crazy dictators like Kim Jong-un or Putin, it does kind of help to have somebody who's possibly a little bit off themselves negotiating with these people, because you know, if I was a crazy person with a nuclear bomb, I would be like, geez, I don't know. You can't really gauge what that guy's gonna do. He doesn't really do what he's told, you know, it's that sort of thing. Anyway, but my point is, yeah, man, so these American men getting so soft, dude. So materialistic. And status, too, because they're bringing some of that crap to the Philippines. That's the problem. And that's another issue why expats are having trouble assimilating. I did see a video recently, and you know, just to preamble this, I like the guy. We're acquaintances, you know, we're friendly and everything. I'm not going to say who it is. He's a good guy. He's got good videos. I like his message, but and I never do this, but I saw a video. I'm sorry, I gotta stop. I'm terrible. I love the guy. I do. Oh God, that was fun. Sorry. Yeah, if we can just kind of start assimilating better, I think we're going to be better off. And if we can, you know, take what we learned in the Philippines and take it back to America, like back to our homeland. And if some of these expats, maybe they should like get into office or something, or get involved in social groups, or just influence and help people, it'll probably make America a better place. Because I still believe fully that, you know, a lot of the problems in America can be solved by us, you know, by me, by you, by how we live. It's just how I see it. You know, a lot of people are afraid to get out of the box. You know, it takes courage to kind of leave everything behind, to go to a foreign land, but, you know, more and more people are doing it. The world's becoming a smaller place, and I think the world will be a better place with more expats. With more American expats, I think it should be promoted, and I think it should be encouraged. And I think, I'll even go so far as to say, I think some American expats are doing more justice for their country than some of these other people who just watch the news all day, complain about this, and, you know, get stuck in these polarized blue and red party way of thinking. It's up to us, guys. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, God bless the Philippines. God bless America. Appreciate you all. Please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. God bless you all. Be good. Bye-bye.